Hey everyone, Sawmill Charlie. Well, welcome back to another Friday night bee chat. Hey, Billy Lee and Clay and Randy. We got Todd out in California. Hey, there's Danny Newburn and Randy. And I'll go ahead and close a few things here. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link while we're at it. And post it. Let's see if we can get it pinned. I don't know why the thing don't want to pin. Well, let's see if we can do this again. Well, let's try something different here. I guess I'll have to go through one. Hey, Kimberly. And there it is. Got it pinned. I was on the other page, and that's why it wouldn't pin. So hope everybody is doing all right. Hey, Bundy, Kim again. Hope everybody's bees are in good shape. Everybody might be trying to maybe treat the bees. Hey, John. And all that. I've finished up Apiguard here several weeks ago, like I said, and finished up my trainee I got, or helper that comes and helps me. I got his last dose of Apiguard on. This week has been a very nice, cool week with low humidity. And I dropped 50 grams on most of his hives. And those are done for the year as far as Apiguard goes. Probably hitting them with some OA later down the road. Maybe some Formic. I'll be doing Formic here probably sometime in September, as soon as the weather gets right. Randy says he put the Formic on today all outside. Randy, what's the temperature like out there? And all. Hey, Pete. It's 77 degrees. All right. Well, that's a good temperature. I think you'll find that they will go back in after a while. But remember, that was one thing that I never could understand, is that how does this product treat the bees when the bees are outside of the hive? Well, actually, Formic Pro is not it kills thoracic mites on the bees. But the main thing it does, it is more of a brood medication. It is where 80% of your mites are underneath your capping. So it's a brood treatment. So that's what it's really going after, is your brood, the cap brood inside your hive. And Billy Lee, Apiguard went very well for me. Learned a lot. Started out with that first video, and I'll probably do a video possibly tomorrow to let everybody know, but I'll go ahead and talk about it tonight. is that I did the first treatment was 25 grams. The temperature range was between 80 to 85 throughout the week for the first at least 5 days. I checked that hive at 25 grams about 6 days later, and the cards were completely cleaned up and gone. Apiguard was totally taken out. And so the next week was a 90 degree, 90, 95, high humidity. Didn't do any treatment. The following week was another 80 to 85 degree day. I had it in my plans to do 4 treatments. So I said, all right, let's step it up to 30 grams. I was going to do a 30, and I think it was a 15 grams. It equates to 60, 70, 80. Yeah, 15 grams would be the last dose. And so we did that 30. Then the next week was hot again, 90 to 95 degrees. Then that's when the first week of August, we had that really mild to chilly weather in the mornings. It was like 65 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it maybe hit the high of between 75 and 80, 77, 78 degrees midday. Perfect weather for Apiguard. So I made a decision that Tuesday evening, I went out there, I dropped 45 grams on, and that balanced the load out at 100 grams. And they had no problems with it. And because of the cool weather, we've had cool weather like that about every other week here. This week's been a really cool weather. Last week was 90 and all that. I seen Brian, he was Brian did Apiguard here, I think. Let me go back here. He went out today and put Apiguard on a bunch of hot colonies, and he'll do the rest tomorrow. And he was stating he put 30 grams on for double deep 8 frame, so my big thing, or my takeaway with Apiguard, it is easier. I found it easier than Aprivar because I don't have to put nails in a hole, and then when I pull the strips out, I don't have to take the nails out of the hole and then kind of knock the wax off to reuse them the following year. All I got to do is put a card on with, let's say, 35 grams on, and I have a 2-inch shim that I use. And I'll go ahead and I'll show right there. We'll go back to that picture there. Right there on the purple hive on my right, or your left, I guess, is one of the 2-inch shims. That was the evening before I started dropping putting the shims on and putting the Apiguard on. And what I did notice is I came out, and that this evening, right, and where this picture's been taken, I put in the coroplast under the screen bottom boards because I run all screens. The next day it was warm throughout the day, and I did have bearding. And then I came out that evening and I put those 2-inch shims on, and then I put the Apiguard on. And it seemed like to me, once I gave them that 2-inch space up on top, I don't know whether it gave them a more of an air space or just what, but they didn't beard after that at all. And some of them, like I say, when I hit them with 45 grams, no problem at all. And that kind of thing. And then with 30 and 25, 30 grams and 30 grams, 25 grams, 6 days, cards are completely clean. And then when I hit them with a 45 gram dose, That took a little longer, probably about 7 or 8 days for them to kind of clean all that off. It depended on the strength of the hive. If it was a hive that you open it up and all you see was a sea of bees on top of the top frames, give them 7 days and they would have that card completely cleaned off, especially a big dose. If there was a hive where you had a medium amount of bees up top, a little bit longer, a little bit less strength of the hive and all that. And let's say, hey, Barnhill and Keith, Pete, and we got Brian again, of course. Randy wants to know, how many Apiguard for 3 6-frame nucs? I don't know. I never put them on my nucs. I know that the instructions will say somewhere around 10 or 12 grams. And that also kind of depends on the amount of bees in that hive. If that's kind of a weak hive, I wouldn't put it on there. And I had some Formic Pro. I put one strip on 1 5-frame nuc, and it was not an the population was just not really heavily strong. I killed that nuc last year, I think it was. I found that my nucs have to be 5 over 5, basically 10 frames, only vertical. And Randy says 3 boxes tall. So you got, or you say you got 18 frames in that box high. And if you got 3 boxes tall and they're filled with bees from the top to the bottom, you're going to have to read the instructions on that. I'm not really sure. I'm going to say around, I think it's something like 12 grams and all. I looked at my nucs and they, 18 frames. Yeah, I'd say, I don't know. Let's say 15 grams. You'd have to research that a little bit more. I didn't really get into the nuc part. I know that, I wouldn't put them on just for 6 frames of deeps only. Hey, Ben. You'll have to research that, is all I know. I know that Greg Burns put that on there several years ago. He was on Ricky Rourke's show, and he explained that. I think he put 10 or 12 grams. I'm not sure, but I think it was only a single nuc, and it ran the bees out of those hives. Hey, Rick Sutton. Hey, Rick, we got a question here. If you use Apiguard, I got one guy here that's got a nuc at 6 frames wide, but he's got 3 boxes, which is 18 frames of bees. Have you had any experience as far as how much the dosage would be for something like that? Would it be, let's say, 15 grams because it's a nuc, or would you kind of say 25 grams because of the amount of bees and frames? If you use Apiguard too, Rick. So anyway, I put Formic Pro 1 strip per 10 frames, and I've never had any problems. As long as the queens and the hives are strong as far as the nucs go. Bill, he's not here yet, but he's getting honey. I think they're getting ready for a fair, some kind of a fair or show. ADC. All right, Rick says 25 grams in the colder or cooler months once, and about 15 in the summer. So I would say, Russell, about 15 grams then. I would treat. You're saying you might treat it as an 18 frames as the same as a double deep 8 frame. Um, Possibly. If it's bees from the bottom board to the top, I think you're not going to have too much trouble. I wouldn't go any higher than 25 grams though. Thanks for the info, Rick. Appreciate it. Hey, Pastor Larry. So, like I say, Apiguard's done. The next thing on the list will be Formic Pro sometime September, as long as the temperature range is 80 degrees or less and low humidity. That was one thing I did notice with Apiguard. If it's between 80 to 85, I like 35 grams. If it's, like I say, if it's like the label states, if it's around this 75, 77, 78 degree mark, I don't have a problem putting 50 grams on. And I actually, if you watch Bob Benny's last video he put out, it was right at the tail end of the video. Hey, David. And he stated, if it was 80 degrees or less, he was putting 50 grams on a couple hives there. And they were strong hives also. So with that said and all, so it's kind of a thing that, what you feel comfortable with and all. Yeah. All right, let's see. Hey, Troy. Well, you been out in the bee yard all day, Troy, since you're just about wore out? So, Clay, did you finally, what's your honey count for this year? I know you were complaining about the harvest. Things were getting kind of washed out in your area. Barnhill says a whole week under 90 degrees. Hey, Roy. Oh, you're at the Kentucky State Fair. Okay. 1,500 pounds, Clay. I wouldn't complain about that at all. That's about what I need every year. And all. But so you're selling a lot of honey, are you, Troy? I guess the Kentucky State Fair, is that out there in Louisville or someplace else? Is it at the Expo Center? I'll put it to you that way, Troy. Well, Clay, everything was terrible as far as the spring. It was cold as ice. Like when we were down at Bill's there having that queen rearing class. Okay, at the Expo. That's cool. So you're not, I think you've stated in your videos that you're not too far away from that. But it was cold, this spring. And all that. I was on Glade and Jed and Bracken's chat last night, and I found something quite interesting. Now they're all out in Utah, and it's very hot and dry out there. They don't really get a whole lot of rain. It's almost, I would call it desert to a certain extent. And they were talking about getting honey spun out of their um, frames, and they're talking about 15 and 16% moisture content. And there comes Nancy in, and how hard it was for them to get that honey out of their extractor, where they experienced down at Bruce's in Alabama. And yeah, DC, yeah, that's right, 13%. When you get down below, let's say 16%, it's almost very, very, it's so thick, it won't even run out of the comb or anything. And it was some of the stuff that they had to do to spin it. They were spinning for an hour to try to get stuff out of the comb. And I just, I said, you need a hot box or something like that. So what's up, Nancy? Come to save me. Turn your video, or there you go.
Yeah, so this is my new camera.
Okay.
Last Tuesday, my camera was terrible on my computer, so I bought a new camera, so I'm playing with it a little bit. But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's kind of, it's different. It's not, it's
staticky.
Staticky. Yeah, there you go. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So, and you are as well. Like, I hear you as being staticky. So I'm gonna just mute. I'm just gonna go play. I don't know if there's a mic in that camera or not.
Well, what computer?
So I'm gonna go just
if there's a mic in the camera, which most likely there is, you have to select that camera as your microphone.
Yeah.
Try that. Roy said he spun it out at 16%. Yeah, well, they were talking about below that, Roy, like 12 or 13 to 15% and all. And I think you also have to remember out there, they got like super dry heat. And it's just the environment of it. And then Glade was talking about here it is. I forget how many, let's say it's 90 degrees and he's got to heat up his area with a heater in the middle of the summertime. Are you there, Nance?
Yeah, so I turned off the camera.
Now you're music. Now you're better.
Yeah, so it was fighting. Like it wanted to use the mic from my computer and the camera. So I turned the camera one off and just use the computer. And then I'm going to turn the computer off and just use the camera one and see what the difference is. See if I sound hollow. But yeah, this is much better, huh? The camera.
Yeah, the camera's it's got a lot of color, I guess you would call it, really, different layers of like the shadows and the browns.
Yeah. And I have quite a few different lights on here. I get a lot of natural light in this room, but by now it's too dark. But yeah, so I don't know. It wasn't expensive. It was like $40 maybe. But yeah, it's neat. So I'll play with it here a little bit. But I don't know what you were talking about. I didn't really I wasn't listening before I came on, so I don't know what you were talking about.
Yeah. Well, I was on a chat with Bracken and Glade, and I was just commenting, and they were talking about out there in Utah being so dry and less humid that when it comes to honey being too wet, they don't have that problem. And they actually, from the problem that I see of it, is they have honey that is too dry in order to get it to sling out of the combs.
Too thick, too viscous.
Yeah, you're talking anywhere from 13 to 15%, which is really low.
Oh, right. I see Russell saying how could Glade add moisture? Yeah. What do they do?
I don't know. Well, Glade actually said he put a heater inside the room where he's extracting. And I told him, why don't you get a hot box? I mean, I seen a guy, Pennsylvania beekeeper, David, and he took 2-inch styrofoam, let's say a 4x8 sheet, and he
Mhm.
built his hot box. Was all it was a cement floor with those pieces. You can put screws in there and make a box and set the box, on the floor, and then put a lid over top of it, which is two styrofoam. I think it might have been maybe 8 foot square or something, or maybe it was rectangular, 6 foot by 8 foot, or whatever. And then he put a heat lamp in there, and it heated up, the combs, just like Bob Benny has that hot room. It
Mhm.
heated up
Mhm.
the supers, and then it got the honey more fluid, and then he
Uh,
was able to spin it out. And that's one thing that most people don't like. When I spin honey, I might spin for 20 minutes, and they'll say, well, you can do it in 10. I says, if you have a hot box, that's how you speed it up, and I know other people. I said, well, maybe you're spinning it and leaving some too. Who knows?
so do they have a designated, does he have a designated extracting room?
I think it looks like a garage of some sort to me.
So I've seen too where you can mount heaters. You can mount heaters up above you. Now it's gonna suck for you because you're gonna be 100 degrees, but if you run heat straight down on where you're working and then onto the that might help too.
Yeah.
Like they're saying here, humidity, but I'm wondering if the humidity part, adding moisture might not be the best. Maybe just heat.
Yeah. Well, I think
Adding.
that's what Glade did. He added heat.
Uh,
I want to say hi to Chris. He just popped in and all that. And Lynn.
oh, hi, Chris. Yep, and Lynn. Yeah, Mark.
There's Mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Huh.
that.
Yeah, we don't have those problems over here. We're just trying to dry things. And I run mine through the freezer. So the freezer dehumidifies as well, takes the humidity out of the honey. Um, so that helps to get my moisture down.
Yeah. So let's see. Chris.
Oh, yeah, Westcliff John saying the heat will make it move more, but it will be drier. Oh.
Hmm. Hey, Mark, bass singer. And Chris picked up some extra equipment from a retiring beekeeper. All that.
I got into 11 colonies today. One I had to push down into a 5 frame. They're wanting to requeen again. Just this one, and I don't like the location. I don't like where it's sitting, so I'm gonna let them requeen that
You
5 frame.
think you think they'll requeen themselves at this time of year?
Well, they have two really nice queen cells that aren't quite capped, about 2 days away from capping. So they just keep making queens. They can't settle them. So I killed the one queen. The one that's one of the colonies I put over top, and that probably was a good queen, but I put her over queen excluder for Formic, which was dumb. Don't ever do that. But so now they're requeening again. They requeened since then. I'm trying to do the math here. Is this the second one since then? 6 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, they're requeening again since the one that I killed.
Mm.
But they have it. They got it. So they let the one lay because it's got eggs and the cells are charged. But anyway, so I drop them down in a 5 frame. Sometimes if you squish them, give them really reduce their space, they kind of maybe get their wits about them a little more. And then another one, I run a deep and a medium. The medium isn't always on top of the deep. Sometimes the medium is on the bottom board, but the one out there, they didn't have anything in that medium at all. So I just dropped them to a single box. They might overwinter in that single 8 grain deep. And then everybody else is looking good. I mean, they nice pattern between the deep and the medium, and they're got a lot of liquid on because I've been feeding for about a month. But they really are putting weight on. Hi, Dominician. I haven't seen you in a while.
Is it Don? I was looking up his name. I forgot. Is it Dominic?
Nathan, right? Nathan, I believe it is. Nathaniel, Nathan. What's DC say? I'm trying it this year. Does it make any difference in the brood chamber if the medium is on? No, it doesn't. It's just, so DC's asking about the brood chamber if the medium is on the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter because they're going to make the same. I like it on the bottom because then when you're doing an inspection, you can just pull. Yeah, Nathaniel, there you go. You can just pull 2 or 3 deeps out and you got to read on the colony. Otherwise, the medium, you're not going to get a whole read because the medium's on top. So it's whatever. I mean, I prefer the medium on the bottom, but that doesn't always work out that way. You can try it, but yes, DC, correct. But sometimes they don't want to. Sometimes they're a little cantankerous, where they'll just stay in the deep completely, and the medium will be just empty down below, and that's not doing anybody any good. But you know what else you could do, DC? If you wanted to do that, you could run a queen excluder longer, put a queen excluder above the deep, get them to fill that medium full of stores, and then take that medium and drop it on the bottom, and they'll run it up into the deep and give you a nice, run that up into the deep. That's the right way to do it.
Keith says,
hi, Keith.
Yeah, I know a friend of mine, he does a deep and a medium. And I asked him, I said, how do you manipulate that like in the springtime? And they, I think he has it up on top, the medium. And before the queen kind of gets up in there, early spring, he'll put a queen excluder in there and let them go up and get the food, shake all the bees down and all that.
Well, in spring,
if you put it on the bottom, what are they going to do? Eat from downstairs and come up?
Well, if you do it this time of year, I mean, if you can get them, it's making them utilize that medium. So they're either, this is my end of my second year moving that. I used to have just a deep and a medium all the time. And then I had to take the deep off to get into the meat of the brood. You can see a little bit, but I was like, that sucks. I don't want to keep taking that medium off. So I put the medium underneath. Well, then they ignored the medium. So my what I'm doing this year is I'm letting them keep the medium, and you can put a queen excluder here so that they store, they only use this medium for storage. Mm-hmm. And then take that medium and stick it underneath. They'll run that food up and push her down between that deep and the medium. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then in spring, you don't do anything. You just put a queen excluder on and put your supers on. You don't have to rearrange anything.
Yeah. Let's see. What'd you call it? Nathaniel or Nathan. I'll call you Nathan. Dominic or a Dominican beekeeper. Yeah. Some of us have a fall flow and some of us don't. I don't get a fall flow because of my location.
I don't either.
20 miles up the road, a friend of mine, he's along a river and all that. Yes,
Hmm.
he does get a fall. Hey, Rodney.
Oh, I
And
have goldenrod bloom today here.
well, the goldenrod will bloom here, but I don't get any nectar. I don't get any measurable nectar source out of it at all.
No,
Now,
no, I
some
don't have a
people,
fall flow. That's why I have to feed. That's why everything now is feeding. Everything that's in there. I mean, they might be getting a little something here or there, but
DC wants to know, can you leave it underneath?
no. Well, the problem is, DC, is what happens with some colonies is they just ignore that medium down below completely. They just live in the deep. So if you're okay with that, but then you might not want that extra space. Like, for here, there's times when I don't want that extra space. Like I went into one down there and they were just in the deep. I took the medium completely off because I can't have that extra non-living. If they're not living in it, I got to take it off or it's going to become a problem.
Yeah.
Do
I
you
don't know.
feed?
That's why I like all mediums. Everything's interchangeable. Got more frames, but you know. I don't know I don't know what ironweed is.
I think it's purple. I think it's sweet. I think lots of people have this plant. We might call it different things.
Well, the one that I'm thinking of is it's green with a nice little blue flower on it. That's chicory, I think.
Yeah. It's a daisy like petals on the flowers.
And now see, Lynn's over there. I don't know where you're getting the Japanese knotweed. I've seen that, a lot of that, and I've seen pictures of it. And the only time I ever see it is along a stream or a waterway. And Devil's walking stick, I know what that is. It's a stick with little, what do you call it? Burrs on it, or whatever, stickers on it.
Let me so this is where's my camera here?
Yeah, Peter Linder.
Yeah. So I want to look up ironweed. What is it? Like, what are we calling it? This I think is all Latin. Doesn't have, somebody type in what ironweed is, the Latin. Because it's all and the index is all in Latin.
Well, that's not very friendly.
Yeah, and then he has it in paren. Then he has the slang, or what? That's not the proper terminology, but what we call things is but it's not
genus VERNONA.
There you go. Okay. There you go.
Whatever that is.
Started here. G.
Hey, Mark. GENUS.
Well, genus isn't.
All right, VER.
Oh, okay. I know what that. Okay. Here you go. Ironweed 310. Let's go to 310. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here you go. It's this one. That's ironweed. Purple. Oh, shit.
It's a purple or red. Hold the book still. There you go. What's on the bottom down there?
Oh, this is chisel, I think. Okay. So this one over here is Speedwell. This is Speedwell.
Yeah.
And then this, I think, is chess. Yeah, this is chastel. This is chastel. That produces a lot of nectar and pollen, I believe. And then this up here, yeah.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
Cloud's root. That's familiar too here.
Yeah.
Calves root. That one. Okay. So that's ironweed. It has 2 stars for pollen and 3 stars for nectar. What are you laughing at?
I liked Flower Street's Brian's thing. No, where are you at? Where he was here? Where did he go?
Our resident comedian. What do you say? What is
That's
the
what
white
it was.
one?
Good news today. Top boxes had plenty of food. Bad news, the boxes were heavy.
Oh.
He's marked out there in Ohio. There says it's blooming.
The ironweed. Yeah, I don't know if I have ironweed around here. I don't. It doesn't look familiar to me. That's not to say it's not in the crevices and cracks and cracks and crevices of my.
Oh, looks like she locked up. Nope, she didn't.
No, I was reading.
Okay.
I was reading DC here. I think. I wish I could click on the. Can you let me click on the comments?
I guess. Go ahead and click.
It doesn't. Oh.
You have to be on.
Yeah.
On the StreamYard side.
I did want to learn to do this too. I do want to share you one.
I only put them on the 10 frame colonies, Brian. I did not put them on my nucs. My nucs were some of them had some queen issues that they were requeening, and some of them had issues with queens this year in my nucs, and I didn't want to upset the as long as they were really going well. I was like, you know what, let's leave them be. I did have a couple firm frames where they were brand new queens. They were queenless for a while, so I figured they had a brood break, so they really didn't have any mite problems. Those didn't get any Apiguard, but the ones who were just strong and they were 10 frames with plenty of bees, that's the ones I hit with Apiguard. So it did well. I know that you're pretty hot out there. I mean, depends on what you're going to do. I found it 80 to 85 degrees here. 35 grams is good, as long as it's like, for the 4 to 5 days of that. If it was going to be in the 90s, I mean, I found with my situation, we would have a cool week and then a hot week. Well, the hot week would be 90 to 95 degrees and high humidity, which I did not treat at all in those weeks. Only at 80 to 85 was the high end. And then I had here lately, we've had 2 weeks where it was in the 60s and 70s in the middle of the day. Or actually in the middle of the day, it was 75, 77 degrees. And all that. Hey, Darren. Hi, Dinah.
Charlie, how do I share this on my channel?
Go down to present.
Mm-hmm.
And hit share screen, I think it is. And then I have to let it in. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
You got it?
No.
Did you bring it up or whatever you're going to try to share?
No, I wanted to share you on my channel, my Nancy the Beekeeper channel.
There it is.
Oh, really?
I have to share it. You just present it and then I can click on it.
Oh.
What are you trying to share?
No, Charlie. you know how when I have my live chat and you come and you share, you open it up to everybody in your.
You
That's what
mean
I want.
where you push it out to your people on
Yes.
your
How
chat?
do I do that? How do
That
I
should
do that?
be that should be up in the upper right hand corner of your StreamYard. There should be a red block or whatever up there.
Okay. Hi, Todd.
Hey, how's everyone?
Good.
I'm
What's
tired.
that? Tired?
It's hot out here. Hot.
That's what it said on the news today. You're in a heat zone out that way.
Yeah. Dry and hot. 15% humidity.
Oh my goodness, terrible.
Like 107 right now. And it's what, 5:45. I came home and my AC is working overtime.
At least it's working.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all that.
Hey, you were mentioning a green plant with purple flowers. That's why I jumped on here. That's blue curl, not ironweed. Well, I know you're talking about ironweed, I think, but that's what blue curl
yeah,
is.
the one with the purple fire, we got chicory. I've seen a thing.
What's the name of the blue curl, Todd?
Oh, Trach something. I don't know.
Oh, T. All right. As long as you get me started.
TRICH. Yeah, after that, I forgot. I think the second word is laminis. LAM something.
We don't have that over here on the East Coast because it's not in this.
No, it's only right around here.
Oh yeah, it's not in this. This is.
It's come up in abundance, and each stem probably has 50 or more flowers on it, little small flowers, and it's not. I mean, the plant's there, but the flowers aren't. So I don't know what's going to happen unless it's late this year, which I doubt. It should be going right now. So I don't think I'll hardly get any blue curl.
Hey, Philip, is it TRIC Rich OS?
Yeah, we don't have. It's not in this book.
Yeah, it's only in Central Valley of California.
Darren and Bill's, he's getting honey ready for a fair, I think, is what it was. I think his local fair is coming this week. But he'll be in later on, he said.
Well, guess what? Buddy in the bee club here the other night at the meeting said something about getting queens. And I said, oh, yeah? And he said, yeah, I'm going to order a bunch. And I said, okay, well, where are you getting them from? Because, it's middle of August. And he said he's getting them from Randy Oliver. And so I thought, okay, well, how much are they? I mean, it's a low price. It's like $25 made of queens, end of the year. And, but he's getting them through a commercial guy here who, I don't know, he's pulling strings or knows people or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to get me probably 5 of them at least. And I've got some big colonies that I'm going to split down and see what happens. Just see if I could get them going through winter and into spring. But they're not. I think they're great. They're Great West or Golden West. But I don't know if if these queens were within the program he has up there with Oliveris. So I have no idea. But they're a mix. They're a Carney and a Italian mix. So we'll see what happens.
Ready? You want to put that up, Nancy?
Yeah, this is the blue curl. Oh, aren't these pretty? These are the blue curl he was talking about. They're kind of like.
Wrong one.
Oh.
That's
the one with Lynn.
It's the second name it starts with an L.
Oh, okay.
But
that looks like a lady slipper. We call them lady slippers. That there looks like a lady slipper. But anyway, okay, never mind. Never mind.
It's Trichostemma laminiacea or something like that. If you just Google blue curl, you'll see it.
Well, this says blue curl on it.
Well, there's different
Wow.
forms. There's like 3 or 4 different. The flowers I have do not have that white and purple polka dot thing.
Oh.
Um,
Oh, aren't they pretty? Wow. I
If
can
you-
see
if
these.
you-
Mm-hmm.
if you Google woolly, WOOLLY blue curls,
Okay.
that's very, very close to what grows here. Oh, here it is. Wait, time out. Trichostemma lanantum. Well, it's I guess it's actually woolly blue curls. So that's what it is. Woolly blue curls. If you look that up, that's what it looks like.
I'm there.
And every stem is covered with flowers. Well, this year there might be 5 or 6 flowers on every stem. So I don't know what's wrong with it.
Oh, it's purple. It's purple. Hi, Bill.
Hello, Nancy.
Purple pollen too.
No, it as far as I know, it does not have pollen. I've never seen that, and that's the coastal range. That bluish color, that's the coastal range. So I've never seen it blue or purple pollen here, but who knows? If you scroll up a little bit, you'll see the range from that last picture. You'd see the range of the plant. But anyway, it's not producing. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, did you ever get rid of your neighborhood beekeeper?
No, I'll talk to him next month. Well, no, I'll talk to him in November. Unless I see him at the store or something. Every once in a while, I'll bump into him at the store. He lives not too far away from me.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, he's not going to move his bees until he has to when almonds come up. So
Yeah.
he'll say, okay, and then forget. So that's why I'm going to wait a while. But I am excited about those queens. I want to see if I could get a little more different genetics going.
You. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I was just wanting to mess with my camera a little bit tonight. I didn't really want to. I'm going to listen, but I'm going to head up. So.
All right. We'll catch you later. Thanks for
Good
stopping
night,
in.
Nancy.
See ya.
Well, did you get your honey all bottled up?
Got the honey bottled up, and I got an apple pie in the oven.
Holy moly.
So I enter honey and an apple pie in the fair every year.
Hey, Chad. Didn't know you were in the competition.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Charlie, that bottle that you got from me, that's 2-year. That's 22 blue curl.
Okay.
I think it gets better because I tasted another bottle of that, and because I found it in my pantry, I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, what is this?" And
That's pretty good for not crystallizing.
well, it did. I had to warm it up, but you know, it crystallizes. It gets like hard as a rock. You could use it as a hammer.
Well, actually, I have the other bottle that you had. It started to do some crystallizing, and then when I had that sore throat or whatever, I put it in the hot box and let it decrystallize.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
I tried warming it up in my hot box. You know, that like I converted a fridge like you did.
Mm-hmm.
All that wouldn't work. So what I did was I put it in the shade out on the side of the house in wow, I think it was 100 to 101 or 2 that day, and left it out there for 1 hour. And I came back and the bottle was nice and warm, not hot, and it was clear as a bell. I said, all right, there we go. Hey, on the way home, listen to this. On the way home, I heard you guys talking about, or I heard you, Charlie, talking about up in Utah and that thick honey. I've heard of thick honey in a bucket being thinned out with a tad bit of distilled water. 5-gallon bucket, you put just a small amount in there.
Yeah.
You can thin it out a little bit, get the moisture up.
Yeah, I mean, they were talking, it was, because of their environment, which is, I'll call it desert, 13, 14% honey. And it was like, they're having to spin and heat up the room really hot in order to get it to come out of the comb.
Yeah. I
told him, I said, make yourself a hot box. And there's a guy up in Pennsylvania when I first started, and he showed me, and all it was just, like 2-inch insulation foam board. And he made a box, and I said, well, he had it like a real thick lid to it, out of foam insulation. He just picked it up with his hands, and then of course it had a heat lamp in there, and he had these supers in there, and then he put that down. He said just leave it in there for so many hours, and it's nice and warm, and then he pulls it out and uncaps it, and all that stuff. Yeah, Brian says his honey's real dry too. Well, you're out in the kind of that deserty type area too.
Yeah.
And all. Anything else exciting, Bill?
No, it's been a quiet day today.
Yeah.
For a change.
Well, everybody, Bill actually visited me yesterday. Stopped off, dropped off a tote of Pro Suite.
Yep.
And all, took him a tour around.
Yep.
All that. He was fortunate enough to get into some nice Baltimore traffic around the Beltway. And all that.
Yeah, it was fun. All right. It brings back bad memories of Baltimore.
Nothing like bumper to bumper.
Nothing like it. Especially on 695, 20 miles an hour.
And all that.
Yeah, there you go. Philip did it. It just thins it out a tiny bit, but it gets the moisture going, I think.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So.
Well, I got my my lunar wax melter is going to be running overtime this weekend with this hot weather. I'll have to load it up here in a bit before it gets dark. Yeah, wake up in the morning and have a nice brick of wax.
It actually will melt at nighttime.
Yes, sir, it does.
I guess because of the heat.
And a full moon. If you had a full moon, man, that stuff it goes through there like water. It'll melt cappings real quick. Where is old Robert these days? I haven't seen
I haven't heard from him in I don't know how long. Maybe his bees all died. I don't know.
Oh man. It's getting kind of quiet in here all of a sudden. I really haven't done any bee work for weeks. I haven't had to do anything really.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been coasting for about a month. I mean, the only thing I've done is get out there when the opportunity strike, when it comes to temperature, and hit them with the Apiguard. That's all done now. And I might try to get out there maybe tomorrow afternoon or Sunday and kind of take a peek into the hives.
Hmm.
I got, if everything works out well, I'll have a visitor tomorrow and another beekeepers traveling through. So
What the heck is Roy talking about? Oh, I see. I remember now. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Roy, but I doubt I could be a politician. Nor do I want to be. You should try it, Roy. That lunar wax melter, it's a champ. It really works good.
yeah, Robert showed us that one night.
Oh, that was funny.
Yep, Darren, Bill, he's neighborly.
Yep.
He stopped
I just
by.
didn't bring you any recipe. That's all.
That's all.
The recipe.
If I'd have had some, I'd have brought it to you. Or tonic, one of the two.
Yeah.
There's over here in the valley, way back in the day, there were a lot of Armenian farmers, and I went to school with a guy who was Armenian, and he had a grandpa that used to bury that stuff in and around the farm, and they every once in a while they dig it up, but the Armenian farmers called it Rocky, like I don't know, like Rocky and Bullwinkle. They called it Rocky, and that stuff was jet fuel. I caught a sniff of that, and I said, "No, thank you. I don't want any of that."
Hey, Jeremy. Good to see you.
It's a little on the strong side.
Just a tad. I bet you could convert it into 89 octane.
Yeah, if it burns with a clear flame, you can.
So where are you headed out, Brian? Coming east? How's Jeremy doing? Got all the bee stuff done?
Well, I think I'm going to sign off. I just want to come in real quick and chit chat about that and the queens, and I think I'm going to cook and relax. I'm just wiped out. The heat was.
What's for supper tonight?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I didn't thaw anything out. I might go get a sandwich at the sandwich shop. Really, I don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
Lay under the fan and with the AC going. That's about it. And it's going to be hotter tomorrow, so I'll probably be doing the same thing all day tomorrow. I don't know.
Jeremy's getting over kidney stone.
Ew, man.
Ooh.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll see you guys later.
Thank you for popping in.
Have a good weekend.
All right, Todd.
You too.
See you.
Let's see. Recipe. You talk about the recipe. I guess some of my relatives that used to live down there next to Ricky Rourke, they used to produce the recipe. Oh. Chad Leister, did you come up to PA today and get some equipment? I don't think you did. It might have been yesterday. Wow.
No, Chad, I was in PA yesterday picking up Pro Suite. Were you up there yesterday?
Where's Chad?
Today?
Where's Chad located at?
I think he's in North Carolina. He might be in Virginia. How's your hay harvesting going? Somebody wants to know.
Hmm?
Somebody wants
Hey,
to know.
harvest. We've been waiting on for the rain to quit. So I was talking to my son today, and I thought he was going to cut today, but he was mowing off some pasture fields with a rotary mower. So I think he's going to cut either Sunday or tomorrow. I'm not sure. Hey, Jeremy. Oh, he lives about a half an hour north of Martin's.
Oh, okay. So he came south. Yeah.
But that's Mike. That's what we're going to be doing. I'll be cutting, or not. I won't be cutting, but my son will be. We got 3 different places. I got a neighbor's piece of ground, 3 or 4 acres at the most. It's more of a pasture field thing. He wants it square baled. And we have 2 other pieces of ground that we're going to round bale. Jeremy got harvested 15 to 2,000 pounds of honey the next few days.
Cool.
He's got to harvest that much. That their cotton field must have really produced on him.
It must have. It must have took off.
That's when he's using probably a 6-frame extractor there, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's a lot of honey for a 6-frame extractor.
I'm not kidding there. I'm not sure what he has now. And he's got to do another 20 splits. Or you're really getting big and getting back up to big time again.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So that's the hay report there, Mike. I did get a picture today of the new tedder. It finally got here from Ag Progress Days.
Yeah.
It didn't get here to our farm yet, but it'll be here, I think, Monday.
It's at Agri-Tier.
Now it's at the John Deere dealership, which is up the
you
road.
went green, huh?
No, it's coon.
It's still green.
No, it's orange.
Really?
The one I had sitting out there that you saw?
Yeah.
Well, that's a coon
Yeah.
tedder.
I saw that.
And the John Deere dealership sells coon.
Huh. I didn't think they'd let John Deere sell coon.
They do. I bought my rake through them years ago, and I bought that tedder 18, 20 years ago. And all that.
Huh.
So, yeah, we're coming down the pike I just hope that the round baler doesn't give me any problems and all that. We'll get the darn stuff done. That's the thing about it. I might not be in charge as far as doing the hay because it's my son's deal, but I still sit here and kind of worry over it, trying to get it.
Yeah.
You got a window, you got to get it done in a certain window. But it looks like to me next week, starting in Monday, we've got at least a week's worth of pretty good weather. So, so we'll try to get all that cut down. We've gotten a little bit of rain here in the last week or so, and we might cut the field that's up on top of the hill there. If it grows enough, we might cut it again. And then there's another farm that he also farms, his grandparents on his mother's side. We got to cut that and round bale that. So we're pretty much done square bound for the year. Maybe we might do a little bit in this other new field that he planted, but other than that, it's going to be pretty much all round bales and all. So, and all that kind of thing. So everybody, I guess my biggest news, I know Bill knows about it, but this week I had mentioned about it on, I guess, a Monday night. I guess it was Tuesday. I guess it was. A friend of mine, he's in the defense, a private defense company. Anyway, he had 3 Arabian nationals from Saudi Arabia come in. So they were looking for honey. So I got to sell, I think it was about 12 pounds of honey. So I have Sawmill Charlie honey, 12 pounds of it going to Saudi Arabia. So that's kind of a something to say, you know.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, our sawmill, we have sold logs, not so much for veneer mills, but I have sold stuff here in the last 10 years. A friend of mine, or actually my cousin, is a ship's captain, and they needed lumber to do some crating and stuff that would go over to, I guess it was Cairo, Egypt. And we did one time sell some lumber, had put numbers on it and all that. And I had a guy take it to the airport. They put it on a freight transport plane. And I think that was where it went to Cairo, Egypt on the airplane. And I said, what are you doing over there? Well, they needed a trailer floor for like a lowboy truck over there. And it happened to be an American company that, I don't know, it was one of them roundabout things. They call it a car dealership. And the car dealership, the guy we happen to know in the parts department said, yeah, I know exactly where I can get you lumber. And it went flying all the way over to Cairo, Egypt. So the little sawmills, like the little choo-choo train, did big, you know?
Yeah.
And all. And then Dad talked about years ago that we sold a log and they went to Holland with it to make wooden shoes. I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether they wore wooden shoes back then, or was that just for making shoes to sell to the tourists?
It's hard to tell.
That's been probably 50 years ago or more. 60 years ago. And all that. So that's some of the, I won't say exciting, but unusual things that has happened for me. You know, it's kind of neat. And actually, you know, the guys said, you know, about if they like the honey, they're going to want me to send it to them. Luckily, the guy that I know that brought him here, he said, just contact him. And he says, I'll take care of the rest. I'm like, yay, that's exactly. You know, because I think his company would probably pay for the shipping and everything else.
Yeah, they probably would. So I can't really say anything about what's happening with me right now.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, well, you got yourself a new trailer. It's a sharp looking trailer.
I did buy a flatbed trailer so I could haul syrup.
A bumper pool.
So anybody in, you know, within reason in North Carolina that's looking for syrup, you know, I'll be able to bring it down to you if you want, you know, at least half a tote. So,
and you got to have a forklift too.
And you got to have a way to unload it. So.
Or you got buckets there at the store, I guess.
Yeah, I got buckets. I can ship you buckets.
Well, unless you come and get it, it'd be better. Cheaper.
Yeah, unless you come and get it. Odell, that is landscape cloth with gravel over it. Well, it's not landscape cloth. It's 8 or 10 mil plastic, like you'd put in a basement for a vapor barrier, and it's got crush and run stone over it. So like they put down on roads and compact it. So that's what's over top of it. And it's got Trex board around it so it doesn't rot.
So anyway, that's what's been happening here. I'm glad the tedder's coming along. It looks pretty.
Yeah, I'm glad you're getting a new tedder.
Yeah, I know most folks here don't know even what I'm talking about, but
Some people won't. No, you're right.
helps make the hay dry faster.
It fluffed it up. You're right, Odell. It would help with small hive beetle because the larva wiggles out of the front of the hive and falls on that stone, and they can't get to the ground to pupate.
Yep. And Odell, I use on mine. I need to replace it, but either old carpet from a carpet layer. Get yourself. Yeah, DC. I'm getting a new field toy. It's actually my son's new toy, but I'll get to use it.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
And all. But feel like the big hay kings out west.
Yeah.
And all that. I was watching the I forget what it's called now. There's a farming outfit in Ohio that they own 7 square balers. And they will cut down a couple 100 acres at a time. They're big.
That's a lot of square bales.
That, and they got 2 barons running. They got 2 big square balers running. I'm like, where do you find all the help to drive all these tractors and stuff and all? But I forget what it's called now. It's farm something or another.
Yeah.
And all that. But the Farming Insider is what it's called. Check that out. They're out in Ohio.
Yeah.
They got more toys than you know what to do with. Huge operation. They even have a hay dryer. It used to be not like one my dad used to have where it was like he was running diesel fuel, it would go through 275 gallons in a couple days. That was back in the days of 20 cents, 30 cents a gallon.
Yep.
And it blew air, and you stacked your hay up on a racking system where the air went up through the floor, and put a tarp over top of it and cook it. As a kid, I used to get up in there, and of course it's hot, and you could, it was like a bouncy thing that you have today. The only thing is you're not bouncing, you're inside this canvas thing.
Yeah.
And all that.
So you found a hole in the hay.
Hole in the hay, yeah.
Yeah. Then down you went.
Yeah, Mike says his grandfather used to let him ride in the grain bin.
Dan, you're right. Everybody wants to drive that tractor. Nobody wants to pick bales up either.
Nah, forget that, Dan.
Yeah.
We quit that. We quit using throwers this year.
I don't know how many miles I've walked around a hayfield picking up bales.
That's something that we never did. I never could understand why people did it that way. We always had a wagon behind the baler, and we had a chute, and it came up, and my father would have a hay hook and pull it out and pack it on the wagon and all.
Yeah.
And then we went from that to the thrower.
We never had a kick baler, and until I guess I was a teenager, and the old man finally broke down and bought a kick baler, and then we had a kick baler to use.
Yeah, well, we went from when they finally, you had kicker bales and you had regular bales because the regular bales were longer. When they finally made a kicker that could throw the regular size bales, the length of them, that's when we got one.
Oh, those John Deere kickers could throw them.
Oh yeah, the pan model. Yeah,
yep.
we never had one like that. We always had New Holland. and all. I actually watched here lately those pan models that I kind of like the idea of that where it kind of lays the bale flat onto on the wagon.
Yeah, it's I don't know, the New Holland baler, that thrower on that New Holland baler, I never trusted it.
Well, I always heard people talk about those John Deeres, but put the safety latch because that thing would come up there and damn near chop your head off.
Oh yeah.
Now, Mike talks about a monorail system. I mean, I used to see we used to have that clamshell thing up there, and where they used to use it for loose hay, but we never did anything like that for hay bales. We always just had a elevator. Yeah, well. Anyway, so
Yeah, we never had anything like that. It was an elevator. One bale at a time.
nah, forget that.
You handle it 3 times. Pick it up in the field, take it off the wagon on the elevator, and stack it in the loft.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we don't do any of that.
No, they don't.
I was watching a video here over in Switzerland, and they actually had, just like the old horse days, they had a grab. They would throw the hay out loose. It had a machine that picked it up loose, stacked it in this wagon, and it was like a silage wagon. Threw it out the back, and then this thing would grab it, the hay, and throw it in the mow over there in the barn in Switzerland.
Huh.
55-gallon drum of Pro Sweet.
Hang on a minute, Clay, I'll tell you. Let me do some figuring, some calculating.
You must have had hay fever, Roy. Yeah.
3 pounds times.
How much is that a pound? Is it 11.88 pounds per gallon?
Yep. Yeah, but Diana, that's what made you the person you are today when you did that. Yeah, I can remember getting in the creek at lunchtime to cool off. Then get in the creek when you're done at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Then it really wakes you up when you grab a snake in the bale. Dinah, yeah, broken up. I agree.
Yep. I have.
I'm just going to put you down for, Clay.
Yeah, Rick. And Rick wants to know if everybody's getting their bees ready for winter. Mike wants to know let's see, who was it asking? Who has started their mite treatments. I've already finished up with Apiguard for this, round. And then September sometime I'll be hitting them with Formic Pro. Jeremy's going to do the same thing. It must be hot where he's at. And because it's a little bit hot for that. Here comes Mr. Beekeeper himself. There he is, the queen rearer.
Mr. Mark.
Just stop in and say hi, guys. How are y'all?
Good, good.
Good deal. I've been out there stacking honey supers, putting crystals on them.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get to where I can actually set a pallet up on another pallet. I'm just now getting to that point. And it's a learning curve, believe it or not.
Yeah, it is.
And it got dark on me, and I turned the light on, and I started eating bugs, so I quit.
There you go. You don't want to eat too many of them because you don't know what you're eating.
Yeah, I know it.
So what
They
did
flying
you
in my eyes and everything else. With that, Charlie?
you were saying? What were you putting in your crystals? You say
Yeah.
what?
Moth crystals, right?
Moth crystals.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And your honey supers
Yes.
or brood? Okay.
Yeah, just trying to take care of them, make them last another year. I got some really old ones. I'm surprised. I mean, they're rough looking, but they still got honey. They still work.
Kim says hi. Mark.
Hi, Kim.
Hey, Kimberly.
And Clay says hi, Mark.
Hi, Clay.
But so let's see. Well, queen rearing is all over with, that's for sure. And you've been working with honey supers. You say you're done with them now or not? Or
Yeah, I think I'm done. If I ain't done, I'm done.
You got one sitting behind you there blowing or getting dehumidified, looks like to me.
No, I just got it laying up there. Them are all new foundation boxes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay. I'll see you later, Mike. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, honey's done. Like I say, my first treatment's done. Things have worked out well this year because of these cool streaks spells we've been getting. Like today, I think it might have hit 80 degrees today if it did. And all that. I mean, usually August is not this cool. Usually it's hot and miserable. But September's right around the corner.
Yeah.
We only got a week left of this month, more or less. And all that.
I'm off next week. I plan on putting Formic on unless the weather temperature forecast changes. Probably Wednesday. Get that done. And I'm going to come back and do OA about 3 weeks later.
Brian out there at Flower Street, he wanted to know how was your harvest?
I did about 2,000, Brian. That's about it. I'm tired and I quit.
That's pretty darn nice, Bill or Mark.
Yeah, I was hoping for about 3, but I didn't
Really?
get any spring honey. I mean, it was just non-existent. None.
I'd have been real happy with 2,000, 1,500 to 2,000.
Well, I'm down to about half of that already.
Really?
Yeah.
You got somebody that buys it by the bucket, so wholesaling it.
Well, we bottled it and put it in the store, and
Okay, you got retail outlets then? Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Just a few.
Well, that's
but
a
they
good
keep me
problem to
busy.
have, though, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, it is. I guess it's more
Hey, at
work.
least it's selling, right?
Oh yeah, it's moving. getting
Well-
bigger orders this time seems like, going in with a dolly load instead of an arm load.
There you
Well, I
go.
like it. But I'm building a few things to put the honey in. I'm just using like a bee box with the shelves in it and stickers on it. Works pretty good. Kind of a display,
Yeah.
I believe what Bob Benny says, it does make your sales go up. Plus, it gives you more shelf space, so
Yeah.
you go in with more honey.
Yep.
Now, Roy says he's asking you, Bill, super nectar slow down the fermentation when I mix it in a tote. What's
Fermentation of what? Sugar water or Pro Sweet?
Pro Sweet's not bad about fermenting, is it?
No, there is no fermentation in Pro
Yeah.
Sweet unless you cut it with water.
Yeah, I've had a tote here 3 or 4 years and still good today. The day I got it.
Yeah.
Sugar water, Roy says.
Only cut
No,
what
it
you're
does
gonna
not
use.
slow that fermentation down at all.
What, Mark?
I said only cut with water what you're going to use and don't cut no more.
Yep. And he's mixing sugar water. So when he mixes sugar water, if he leaves it in a hot, humid place, it's going to ferment in 7 to 15 days. And
Yeah.
if you put it in a cool place, it'll slow that fermentation down quite a bit. You might get 20 days out of it. Maybe. You'll know when you open it up how many days you got out of it.
Yeah.
Either that or you'll have a bunch of drunk bees everywhere.
They won't touch it when it turns to alcohol.
Yeah, they don't touch it at all.
You can use it as grass killer around your hives.
Yep.
It'll kill the grass for sure. I gotta get up in the morning, carry the dog to the babysitters, go to Nashville, get on a plane, go to Houston, to MD Anderson. They're going to run their test again for the year. So I should be back Tuesday. And then I plan on getting into the bees.
There you go. Night, Rick.
So I got a week full. Try to get what I can done.
Yeah. Exactly. Don't kill yourself doing it, though.
Yeah, I'm going to set out some feed in the morning, do a little feeding before I do the Formic.
Yeah.
Just some open feed.
Good night, Rick. So you're going out to Houston to get checked or your doctor's appointment?
Yeah, got to get that over with for the year. Hopefully I don't have to go back for another year. We'll see how that goes. Which I've been feeling good, so just wore down from working all the time, basically. But that ain't nothing new. The heat gets you. I'm glad to see this cool coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to cool off.
Yes, sir. Can't wait.
Yeah, the humidity just sucks the life out of me.
It does.
Yeah, I'm beginning to believe the extended forecast now here for the mid-Atlantic. Long, cold, wet winter.
I think it's going to be an early winter too.
Yep. It's going to be an early fall because I've already got trees dropping leaves.
Yeah.
And it's August.
I got a lot of trees dying. I don't know what's going on. Good, healthy trees just dying. Big oaks, hickories. I got on a four-wheeler a while ago and rode around the woods, and I couldn't believe it, the amount of trees that was dying. I think we got a post beetle problem or something.
Yeah,
Might.
might have one of them oak type. Forget there's some kind of bug running around here, I think, in the oaks.
Yeah, there is.
I forget what it's called now.
Some kind of beetle, ain't it? Where they eat
I
the
think it used
cambion
to be-
layer.
Yeah, years ago in the 70s, we had the gypsy moth. They sprayed for that. And then now it's some other kind of a beetle or bug.
They get under the bark and eat the cambion layer, and then the tree dies.
Maybe. I'm not sure about that. I haven't kept up with it.
Seems like they're going after the harder woods. It's like they hit my hickories, the locusts. Most of my locust is already dead
Really?
and gone. Yeah. And the hickories, now they're hitting oaks a little bit.
Hey, Sarah. Yeah, we got ash tree problems around here too. That's the emerald ash borer hitting that.
I don't guess there's anything you can do about it, is it, Charlie, really?
Not really. I mean, around here they were trying to cut all the darn ash trees down. I said, yeah, it's like some of us said, you cut all the ash trees down. Now they don't have ash to eat. And what are they going to jump over onto the oaks or whatever else,
Yeah, they're going to find something else they can eat. That's for sure.
Right.
Yep.
So, I don't know. One thing after another.
Nature is harsh.
Yeah,
But I'll go out there. What dies, I'll just cut it down, make firewood out of it or something. I'll use it for something. Water barrier, I'll find something to use it for. Bridges.
Yep.
Well, Sarah, does they ship those? I figure maybe Louisville. I mean, I've seen them down there at Louisville making bats down there at the Slugger factory. And I thought they were getting I know they have forest up in Vermont or someplace around up there. Actually, I think they actually have it gated, with fences around it. I don't know. I don't know whether maybe that's where it came from up in your area. Clay says, what is it? The woolly aphids killing all eastern hemlock.
Yep.
We don't have hemlock around here. Pennsylvania, I think kind of like northern Pennsylvania there are more sawmills talking about they saw hemlock all the time. And that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's like all our resources, all it takes is a bug.
That's it. One little bug and it's done.
Yeah, but I'm not going to cut my timber. I like my timber.
Dean said they're using poplar for pitchfork handles and wheelbarrow handles. I wouldn't know more ash. So I would think they would be using more of an oak handle than anything else that way.
Oak can be too brittle for a handle.
Oh, yeah.
It
Hey,
splits too
yeah,
easy.
Yeah. It'd be a good hammer handle or something like that, but something short. But you get a long handle, it breaks easy.
I'm sure they'll come up with a polymer or something like that. And
Oh yeah, they've already got polymers out.
yeah. Well, Gary, what you need is a hive lifter. You wouldn't have that problem. Will's got one. And he said he called me up and said, "Boy, I love my hive lifter. That's the greatest thing ever was." They were pulling honey supers, and maybe not using them on the. Maybe he was pulling them off, off the hive, but I think he had to walk them back to the truck. Well, he could lift 3 or 4 honey supers with that machine and then roll them down to the truck.
Yeah.
And all that, and then just I said, you can raise that thing up and it'll sit it right on the tailgate. Well, you got to be smart about that, Gary. You don't lift their hives; they come and lift your hives. And all that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of hemlock. I had a nephew that he always told me how you can tell that between the other pines, and hemlock has a knot, and every knot there's a little crack in the center of the knot. And I think hemlock is more harder than white pine, but to me, Doug fir is much nicer. He put some Viroxan strips, so we had to break them completely down. Well, there's a downside of Viroxan right there.
Yeah.
I know a friend of mine, she had put Viroxan on some plastic hives that had a divider down. The yellow creamy looking ones. I forget what you call them. Anyway, the bees absconded after she put Viroxan on. And I'm like, she had put them on some other hives in her apiary and it said no problems. I said, well, it sounded like to me, maybe your mite loads were so high that the bee said, hey, we're out of here. Apamay. Yeah. That's right, Brian. She said she checked them. He had three mites. I said, well, that's too high.
Yep.
And I said, everybody tells me on the internet, they're looking for 0s and 1s. And that's a question I have. Maybe anybody can clarify this for me. They'll say 0s and 1s out of 300 bees. But then if you go by the percentage, if it's 3% is
be 9.
Is 9 mites, right?
Yeah.
Depends on how you do your math.
Well, 3 is 10%.
Yeah. If you do a cup of bees, you're supposed to divide that number by 3.
Right.
And that gives you your count, not a percentage.
But the thing of it is, they'll sit there and swirl. Oh, I got 1 mite, 2 mites.
Yeah.
So what is it? What's the percent, or is that the percent you say, Bill? Or
no, you want a number.
Well, they say you don't want over a 3% infestation. That's all I know, and that's just going by, I guess, rule of thumb. I don't know if there's any science on that or not.
Yeah.
So it's the way I was taught to do it is you do 1 cup of bees, you count your number of mites, and divide by 3.
Right.
And that's your number of mites for treatment levels.
That gives you a percentage.
Yeah, percentage number. Yeah, mites per 100 bees. When you divide by 3, it gives you your mites per 100 bees.
So if you do a half a cup and you've got 9, that's a 3% infestation.
Yeah,
If you got 9, you're in bad shape.
yeah.
So then you got, I haven't looked at it. James from up in Michigan there, he had a mite thing versus mites count in a shake box and versus Harbo method versus all this other stuff, the way I understood it tonight on the other chat. And anyway, there was conflicting. I think that's what it's going to call. I haven't watched it. I think there's a confliction as far as accuracy in the mite wash versus the Harbo method and all that kind of stuff. And Brian said it's a half a cup of bees.
There's like in nature, there's like a 15% of mites that's can't rear young. So they're non-productive. So you figure you've got a 15% of that going on too.
Right. I don't know. I look at it this way. You can go out there. If you wash a 1, are you going to treat? Are you not going to treat?
Yep.
Are you not going to treat? Oh, it's a 1. I'm not going to treat.
No, I'm going to treat.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm getting at, Bill. It's like you go out there and you wash a 1. Well, let's say you wash 5 out of 20 hives and you only wash a 1. Well, it doesn't mean all 20 hives have 1 mite or that's the average or whatever. You're still going to treat. So why even waste your time?
Yeah.
On all that.
Now, it depends on what you're doing.
Video out there recently is Bob Binney put that one out last Sunday, which I'm really waiting for the results. He washed 1,000 beehives, and he had that washing machine there that sit there and swirled it, and I'll say it made the swirl, I'll say accurate from 1 cup of bees to the next. He had it all timed out. He had, what was it? He was saying they let them soak for a minute or something like that before they swirled them and all that stuff.
Well, it's all about helping the bees too to be able to defend that off themselves. So, basically you can treat and have healthy hives, right? And or you can not treat and you're going to have a virus show up sooner or later. So, it just really depends on what you want to do, what you want, what you're trying to do.
Like Dinah there talks about, she uses pan vaporizers and she treats every 4 days, and then she sees whether she's got 5 mites dropping on the board. And I kind of use that kind of same method in the fall, where I'll go back after 24 hours to see what the mite drop was. I don't really sit there and count the mites. If the mites are so much on there that they just pop out at you, you don't have to hunt for them. You got a problem.
Yeah.
That hive gets treated again right away. If I got one where I have to look at the board and I'm like, okay, I've got to hunt for them, and then you find them and then you start counting them, it might be 25 mites or whatever. It might be 5 mites that you find. And then last year, what I did was the 5 hives that the mites popped out on me the next day, they got treated right away. And then I treated the rest of the hives with OA every couple of weeks. And by the time Christmas rolled around, I couldn't find any mites on the drop board. So they did well. And David says he hasn't treated in the last 5 years. So, David, how you doing with that? I mean, obviously you have bees, so
Well, he's picking from the ones that's not got mites, they're whatever mechanism they're using, and he's breeding from them. It just gets better and better with time, and it should. But you've got to check your bees to be able to do that. Now, are you still going to treat? Yeah, I'm going to treat because I'm going to raise queens next year, and sick bees don't make queens. So, but you're still getting that trait as you breed for it. You've got to check. You got to test.
well, do you find that when it comes down to queens, though, don't you kind of look at your hive to see maybe who's more VSH toward you're well, actually you started with Corey's stuff and you've got some breeder queens, so you've got that trait to begin with,
Right.
and then you're kind of expanding on that trait.
Right. I'm looking at them boxes of bees all year long, which ones I want to breed from, and then I know which ones that I'm going to check real thorough and see what's got what I want. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to check every one of them. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to check what I want to keep, what I want to breed from.
Well, first thing, Philip, I won't. To me, I mean, I don't treat this time of year with OAV because it's worthless. I treat in the wintertime because I get a 95% kill. I'm listening to what the science says. I used to try to do it. I think it was, let's see, September through October. I had gotten up to the point where I was treating twice a week, every week, 6 to 8 consecutive weeks. And I still had bee kill off or hive kill off one year. So I finally learned to listen to the science. And if you want a 95% kill, you wait till that hive is near broodless as possible. I don't think any hive really goes 100% broodless, but wintertime, they get pretty darn close. That's why I only use it in the wintertime. That's my wintertime treatment because it's got the highest efficiency. And then I use the Formic and I use now I use the Apiguard, which is, a new thing for me this year, but I like it. It worked well this year. And I understand when to put it on too.
I'm just going to put on one pad on a double deep, and then I'm coming back 3 weeks later and do OA. That one pad should be enough for her to stop laying, and 3 weeks should be enough for all that to hatch out. Then I'm going to come back with OA. That saves me one pad per box. So there's several $100s there. And I still get the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Darren. That's what I do, Darren. When I start treating with OA, I just go right down the line, set the generator on the back of that truck, and I'm on the front side of the hive. And I like it when it's 45 degrees. They're not flying, but they're still loose in the hive. And I blow, as I call it, blow smoke into them. And I leapfrog my entrance foam or insulation. They block the entrance up so the smoke doesn't come out. I put 4 little wedges that I make each corner of the chloroplast so it holds it up tight. So I try to contain all that oxalic acid vapor inside the hive as much as possible. And it works for me. And then in the wintertime, I've got my chloroplast pinning underneath I don't take it out after it gets cold. I leave it under there. I leave the wedges in, and that saves me that time and all that stuff. and all that. So I was looking at Dominican Republic, Nathaniel. He says he doesn't treat. Now, isn't it down there in the Dominican Republic? They don't have mites on that island that I know of.
I don't know.
Nathaniel, do you comment on that? I don't know where he's at. We don't treat as well. Yeah, Nathan, if you can, or Nathaniel, if you can comment on that. I'm not sure about that in your country or your island or country or whatever.
Well, one way or another, you're working it somehow. You're either picking up dead outs, you're treating. There's always something.
What Dinah was talking about is interesting. May have to try it. What were you doing? What was something different you were doing with OA or what? She was commenting on what you said, Mark.
I'm just going to put one pad of Formic on a double deep in the brood chamber. And then I'm going to come back after 15 days, take that off.
Mm-hmm.
And after 3 weeks, I'm going to do OA. That 3 weeks is long enough for all that brood to hatch out. She has quit laying. So it'll be broodless at that point. So then I'm going to do my OA.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Google says they do have Varroa down there. Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of look at it this way. Formic is, as I call it, a brood treatment. 80% of your mites supposedly are underneath the capping. So you're hitting them hard right there.
Well,
and then
one pad's not as bad, Charlie. It don't burn the brood near as bad as two.
Yeah.
So that you're not losing so much brood there. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of putting two, and then it's saving you money at the same time.
But what I'm getting at is, though, you're killing the mites underneath the cappings, and then you're doing a cleanup with OA.
Right.
You know, getting the thoracic mites that are on the outside of the cappings.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because they don't got nowhere to go. What she has laid in there is just larvae at that point anyway.
Mm-hmm. So, but that's a good idea there.
Your timing has to be right. You can't wait. I mean, you got to get it done, because if that larva that's in there gets capped, you're too late.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how I'm gonna do it this year. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because we've got this coop front coming. Normally I'd use Apiguard.
Hey, Brad. Yeah, and Todd, he would like to see a study or something to see whether Apiguard actually gets the mites up, hits them and kills them underneath the cappings. Not sure about that.
It's not advertised as such.
No, it don't.
No, it's not. I mean, they've already
That's
got
the
their
reason.
approval and everything like that. And
That's
all
the
that
reason
stuff.
why you're stretching it out and doing 2 treatments. Every 15 days?
Yeah.
You put 50 grams on, you come back in 15 days, put 50 more grams on, right?
Well, it's 2 weeks, 50 grams every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, 15 days. That way you go through a whole brood cycle. That's the reason for that.
That's right. Yeah, like me, I do it in 3 weeks.
But you're going through a whole brood cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
key.
They say it lingers in the hive. I guess it gets on in the comb or something. I'm not sure how. I don't know. Anybody knows really why it kills the mites?
You got to go through that brood cycle. That way, the mites that are under the cappings are coming out to get it on them. If not, it's not going to kill them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't see a huge mite drop on my hives. Whether that was indication of whether it's working or not, I'm not sure. Yeah, Dave. I mean, I know Roy just asked you about the Harbo test. Not too many people do that or sit down and try to do all that.
I do a little bit.
Oh, yeah? So what is that? You just take and pick the brood open and count the mites that you find underneath the cappings?
Yeah, you've got to make sure it's old enough, almost ready to hatch. That way, it gives that mite time to get in there and reproduce.
Yeah.
Because you're looking for reproductive mites. And, you know, you'll have some in there that's non-reproductive also. But that gives them plenty of time. So then you pick out 100 of them and count what mites you got. If you ain't got none, go to 200. If you ain't got none, go to 300. So on and so on.
Well, now, how do you know which one is a reproductive mite and which one isn't?
There'll be babies in there. If there's no baby, she's non-reproductive. As long as you've waited long enough till they're almost ready to hatch. If you get them too early, they've not had time to have babies, right? You're too early.
Got to be timed just right.
Got to be timed just right to be accurate.
Right. Well, guys, it's about a little after 10. Been going for a couple hours here. I got to get up and go to work tomorrow, so I know Bill does too.
Yep.
And what do you have in the fair there locally at your fairgrounds?
Yep. The Shenandoah County Fair is this coming week. Tomorrow is turn in and judging starts tomorrow.
Hey, there's Brian. Hey, Brian, we're just about ready.
Brian.
And all that. I was going to ask you whether you got to the hotel or not. Cool. Yeah, and how do you tell the boy from the, I think it's the size, isn't it?
Yeah, the male mites are almost, they're a white, almost clear color. They're hard to see.
Yeah, Brian, he's going to be stopping by tomorrow at the house, tomorrow afternoon sometime, coming through. He had to go over there and see Jason on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. Clay's going to go picking antiques, I guess.
Clay, you coming to my store tomorrow? I guess he's not. He's going picking.
He's going picking.
Yeah.
No, not tomorrow.
Yeah. Good night, Donna.
All right, we'll see y'all later, guys. Going to Lynchburg, he says. That's not too far from the house. All right, guys, we'll catch y'all later. We'll see you Monday night on Bill's channel at Bees All Day.
8
p.m.
o'clock Eastern time.
Yep. And then back here and all that stuff. So we'll see y'all later.
Bye, y'all.